Joining me now, Shadow Education Minister at a federal level, Sarah Henderson. Well, Senator Henderson, welcome. This group claim they've got hundreds of members. They say they work with schools right across the country. They've actually produced material for the classroom, 40-page document to push their warped view of military history. So this isn't a fringe outfit. How concerned are you?
Peta, good evening, and I'm very concerned. This is a warped view of history run by activists, and we've seen so much activism by pro-Palestinian groups since the 7th of October last year. The classroom is for education, not indoctrination. And the way that this group has reflected on the legend of the Anzacs, of the sacrifice of those who served in all wars, including more than 100,000 Australians who made the ultimate sacrifice, it's absolutely appalling. And the Education Minister, Jason Clare, must ensure that none of these materials get into any classroom.
Yeah, he's been strangely silent. I mean, I listened to one of the activists yesterday on radio. They had this to say, that somehow our history lessons on the Anzac story are tied up with arms dealers. Let's have a listen.
And it's being used for ideological purposes. It's not simply remembering sacrifices. A lot of people have contacted us. We're in connection with hundreds and hundreds of teachers, and not just in Victoria, but across Australia, who say, please help us. We are sick of this, having to do this ideological work for arms companies and the government.
I mean, connecting Anzac Day with arms dealers, I mean, this is nut job stuff, Sarah. So where is Jason Clare? This has been running for a number of days. We've got, obviously, the commemoration of Anzac Day tomorrow. Labor's got to get out from under the desk and draw a line under this and say they won't support this nonsense.
Look, he has made a comment in the Australian today, and I'm pleased to see that, but frankly, they need to walk the walk on these issues. I have seen barely any action from Jason Clare on combating indoctrination in the classroom and the shocking activism by groups like this. And we've seen these activists try to drag students out of the classroom, participate in school strikes, fueling anti-Semitism. And of course, at our universities, it's even worse. Frankly, it is time the Albanese government stood up to this. This is not about being pro-Palestinian. This is all about anti-Jewish and anti-Israeli hatred. This is what this is all about, and it is an absolute disgrace.
Sarah, just before you go, high school dropout figures, they're out. Our rates are at the highest level of dropout since 2010. Nearly 1 in 4 students are not finishing year 12. I mean, these are the highest numbers in terms of lack of completion of year 12 in 13 years. I mean, are they taking up apprenticeships? That's a good thing. We know we need trades out there, but what's the rationale here?
Well, Peter, this is very concerning, and I don't think they are taking up apprenticeships, because apprenticeships and trainee positions are actually falling under the Albanese government. I think what's the core issue here is the type of teaching. State and territory governments and, of course, the federal government have not been strong enough on the reforms we need to improve teacher training and, of course, the way that kids are taught in the classroom. We need explicit teaching. We know that is the most effective way to keep children engaged. And if you can't keep children engaged in the classroom, they won't stay at school. That's the bottom line. I do want to say New South Wales is moving towards explicit teaching, which is great to see. There's some work being done in WA and also in Tasmania. But frankly, the Federal Education Minister, Jason Clare, has been missing in action on the critical need to mandate the best evidence-based teaching methods, because, Peter, 1 in 3 kids are failing NAPLAN. Our standards are going backwards. It's costing our nation dearly. And the average year 10 student is now 1 year behind in their learning compared to 20 years ago. So we've got to arrest this decline, and it is the evidence-based teaching methods that are going to do it. And it is time that we saw Jason Clare and Labor get on with it. It's just not good enough.
Sarah, I'm out of time, but I'm going to get you back on to explain. I want people to understand explicit teaching. I know what it is. I think anyone over the age of probably 45 was taught that way, but I want people to really understand it. We'll do that another time, but thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah.